What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at the distance. This is part two of my prediction for Pacquiao versus Marquez. I was pretty much at the end of the video. I was breaking down both of the styles. I was talking about Pacquiao having the advantage and being the bigger fighter in this fight, just because this has been home for him for the last 2 years, and this is Marquez's second fight above lightweight, and wondering whether or not he does. Whether or not he's going to have the speed to compete with Pacquiao. And from what I've seen, he is gaining muscle. He is gaining muscle, and I guess he's trying to maintain speed. I believe he has like a nutritionist or some trainer or a strength coach working with him. So I think in this fight he may look a little bit different compared to the Mayweather fight where he was a little soft. So pretty much in this fight, I'm going to start off with Juan Manuel Marquez. Juan Manuel Marquez is going to want to look for the knockout against Pacquiao. Pacquiao he still always walks in the punches from time to time. Before he throws, he does walk in the shots with his hands down. So in this fight, Marquez wants to catch Pacquiao walking in and consistently catch him walking in, which is going to make Pacquiao second guess about trying to walk in with punches. And also what he wants to do is he wants to hit him with the left hand or shorten up the right hand inside whenever Pacquiao comes in, and try to get Pacquiao off balance, because there are moments to where Pacquiao still gets off balance, to where sometimes he's not always in the position to punch or in the position to throw. And when he's not in that position to throw, the shot that's going to be open is that right hand right down the middle. Which is what most southpaws get hit with, is the right hand right up the middle. And Pacquiao is that type of opponent to where he can be hit with it. It can be landed on him. Just if you get him out of position or if you catch him walking in. That's pretty much Pacquiao's main flaw, is when he gets out of position. When he gets out of position, he's open to being hit. But also you got to put together combinations against Pacquiao. What can be possibly intimidating is Pacquiao coming over Marquez's single shot with combinations. And so I think Marquez needs to come in. He needs to fight a more controlled fight. He needs to he actually needs to fight Pacquiao, because nobody's really fighting Pacquiao. Margrio had his moments. Mosley didn't have much of a moment, if any at all. Clottey, that was a sparring match. So over the last couple of years, Pacquiao has not really been challenged over the last couple of years. Cotto gave him a run for his money early in the fight until he knocked him down, but nobody's really trying to fight Pacquiao. And I think that Marquez has a lot of heart, and I think that his heart is going to get him that far in the fight. So I think that Marquez is going to have to counter Pacquiao's jab, of course. He's going to have to do like in the first fight. He's going to have a lot more energy, being at a higher weight class now, because he's pretty much fighting at the weight that he walks around at, supposedly. So he does want to kind of go to the body whenever he's close to him, kind of like in the first fight. Whenever Pacquiao was close and he wasn't, when he was standing there, Marquez would just go to the body. So he wants to go to the body. He wants to go kind of to the solar plexus early. And when he was younger, he was knocked out with a body shot. Kind of irrelevant now, about 16 years later. But he does want to go to the body. He wants to look for the left hook to the body. He kind of he doesn't really cover up like the lower part of his body all that well with his elbows. But just overall, he needs to catch Pacquiao walking in. He needs to catch him out of position. But also, other than catching him out of position, he needs to throw first. He needs to move to Pacquiao's right. He needs to move to Pacquiao's right side again. He needs to catch Pacquiao before Pacquiao gets set in any position to throw. And I think that that's pretty much the key to victory over Manny Pacquiao, is catching him out of position, fighting with controlled aggression, trying to land first, throwing back. Because it's like this: when Pacquiao throws a jab, Marquez needs to throw right back. Needs to throw right back at him, because it could possibly confuse him, like that Ken Norton Ali fight. Every time Ali jabbed, Ken Norton was jabbing right back. And sometimes it does disrupt the fighter when you return the fighter's jab, or if you can counter over the fighter's jab. So I think that that's pretty much the key to victory. He has to counter him. He has to return his jabs. He has to return his shots. He needs to, he needs to go to the body. He needs to cut off the ring. So, he has to be technical. He needs to take away Pacquiao's left hand. That's pretty much the key to victory. Take away Pacquiao's left hand. He needs to time him and take his speed away. And also he needs to get inside on Pacquiao. He needs to get his head on Pacquiao's chest. He needs to kind of get his foot outside of Pacquiao's foot and not give Pacquiao much room. And that also could take the speed away, and it also takes away the size advantage that Pacquiao is probably going to have in the fight. So Manny Pacquiao in this fight, Manny Pacquiao is going to have, Juan Manuel Marquez, from time to time does not protect himself after he throws his jab or after he throws his power shots. His hands sometimes are not always up, back in position. So in this fight, he might want Marquez to take the lead in this fight, answer Marquez single shots with combinations, and also utilize a lot of movement. Catch Marquez from angles, catch him from angles. Keep the fight on the outside. Utilize a lot of movement because Pacquiao is fast on his feet, fast with his hands, and has power. So pretty much in this fight, I think it's a fight to where he wants Marquez to take the lead, and as he's because he's not a fighter that's going to go backwards. It's either side to side or coming forward for Pacquiao. So he needs to kind of so what he needs to do is he does need to counter Juan Manuel Marquez's jab. He needs to counter it himself, but he needs to counter with combinations. He needs to throw combinations over Marquez's single shots. And a punch that he does want to look for in this one is of course a straight left hand. He throws a very stiff straight left hand. He gets full extension on it. Probably one of the best straight left hands in boxing right now is Pacquiao's straight left hand. Like I said, he gets full extension on the straight left hand when it's open. And it lands, flush and almost perfect. So in this fight, he does, of course, he wants to look for the straight left hand, and also he could possibly look for that straight left hand off the back foot, because when Marquez is throwing his right hand and he misses the right hand, he doesn't protect himself. So the straight left hand off the back foot could work if Pacquiao could fight going back. So like I said, it's usually in and out or side to side with him. And when he's going side to side, when he's using lateral movement, he's using lateral movement to kind of get away. It's kind of his defense in a way. He uses the lateral movement to get away. So in this fight, I think that combination punching, controlled aggression also. He does have to fight with a controlled aggression. He has a hand speed advantage, so he has to get him in spurts. He has to, kind of like that Sugar Ray Leonard adage. He has to get Marquez in spurts. Combination volume punching in spurts. Pretty much pretty much countering him with combinations, and even having moments to where he has an intense work rate, still rounds away from Marquez. And I think that he could very well win the fight just based on utilizing his speed, and answering back his shot. What I would like to see is I'd like to see him let Marquez take the lead, and he takes advantage of Marquez taking the lead, to where Marquez is waiting for him to take the lead, which will probably make for a boring fight. But either way, it is what it is. So who I think is going to win this fight? I'm going to go with Manny Pacquiao in this fight. I think Pacquiao is very likely going to get a decision in this fight. Though I want to say 9th round knockout or stoppage. But I think that I'm going to lean more towards decision in this fight, because of course he's a bigger fighter. Marquez is older, and Marquez probably has the better skill out of the two. But I think that this is just another fight to where speed kills. But I think that Marquez could actually beat Pacquiao. He could beat Pacquiao if he's able to. If he can actually time him. If he could time Pacquiao, he could beat him. But I think that Pacquiao throws too many punches, and not only that, he's a brave fighter. And also, I think that if he does get Marquez in a position to knock him out, he might just kind of take his foot off the accelerator and not get left foot with it. So I'm going to go with Manny Pacquiao by a decision in this fight. So anyway, peeps, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Peace.